What's up, everybody? Richard Jim from WSN.com back today. We're checking out Week 12, Monday Night Football of the NFL season. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Jeff Saturday-led Indianapolis Colts as he looks to go 2-1 in his tenure as the interim head coach. And today, we have 3 prop bets for you to check out in this one. As always, the sports books that these odds are available at, they'll have links down in the description below. You can go, sign up, and get some exclusive offers over there. So let's start it off by looking at the signal caller of the Indianapolis Colts. That's right. First up, Matty Ice. We thought he was dead and gone, but no, he's back. He's been playing. He's actually played the last 2 games since Jeff Saturday took over as interim head coach. He put Matt Ryan back into the starting role, and for this prop here, we have him going under a half of an interception. That's plus 100 over at DraftKings. So we're looking for a clean game from Matty Ice, and I think it's pretty possible. Partially because, well, he's not really the riskiest player. 1 second, let me explain. So in the 2 games since Matt Ryan has come back, he's completed 44 of 60 passes, and he has just 1 turnover-worthy play, according to Pro Football Focus. The Steelers allowed 270 passing yards a game. In this season, 64.7% of Matt Ryan's attempts are either behind the line of scrimmage or between 0 and 9 yards. So like I said, he's completing a lot of passes because he's not really throwing that far. He doesn't really throw that many risky type of plays. So I think at a plus 100, given the Steelers' porous pass defense and Ryan's safe level of play, I think this is a good prop bet to make. Next up, we have his supposed number 1 receiver in Michael Pittman. We have him with an anytime touchdown that's plus 165 over at FanDuel. Now, Pittman hasn't scored in what feels like forever because, well, it pretty much has. It was week 1 when he last scored with Matt Ryan. But since Matt Ryan has come back, he's averaging 8 targets, 6.5 receptions, and 68 yards receiving per game. And against the Steelers, Pittman will draw some matchups against Cameron Sutton and Levi Wallace. Sutton is definitely the better of the 2. I mean, they're both okay, right? Like Sutton, he's allowed 23 receptions for 284 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Wallace is allowed 28 receptions for 449 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I mean, they're definitely beatable corners. I mean, they're pretty good. Like, they're not terrible by any means, but they're a beatable matchup. And like we mentioned with Matt Ryan's prop, they do allow 270 passing yards per game, and Matt Ryan is averaging 30 attempts over his last 2 games. But he just has that 1 touchdown, so that is definitely cause of concern. But that's why we're getting the plus 165 price, and we'll roll the dice here on prime time for the Colts at home with Jeff Saturday. In what is overall a plus matchup for Michael Pittman. And lastly, we're going to turn it over to the away team. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to look at wide receiver Deontay Johnson. And this one pains me because we're going to have him going under 45.5 receiving yards, minus 115 over at DraftKings. And this one pains me because Deontay Johnson is on my fantasy team, and I have to start him this week because, it's just the way it goes sometimes. But Deontay Johnson, they're going up against the defense, a secondary that has Stephon Gilmore. Now, Stephon Gilmore, he plays on both sides. So he'll match up against Pickens, he'll match up against Deontay Johnson. When whoever Gilmore is on, it's not going to be a good time for them. In fact, Kenny Pickett may just avoid that part of the field altogether. And like the fact of the matter is, Deontay Johnson, 45.5 receiver. This is pretty high total for him because he's only topped that line 5 times this season and just once since week 5. So he started off, much better, but it's gotten worse since. Some could say that's because Mitchell Trubisky, going to Kenny Pickett. Who knows? But the thing is that Johnson is getting involved in the offense. Like, he's not just 2 targets a game. No, this guy's averaging 7.2 targets per game since week 5, where he had 12 targets for 5 receptions and 60 yards. And also we saw in the last game too for the Steelers that they put up 30, but they lost to the Bengals. They got Najee Harris more involved. He had I think 22 carries, if I remember that off the top of my head, and he had 2 touchdowns. So they could try to get him more involved here. So I don't know. There's just too many negative variables here associated with Deontay Johnson getting this total, including pass production, matchup, and also Najee Harris's recent re-emergence, if you will. So That does it for the 3 best props to make on Monday Night Football here in Week 12 with the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Let me know what you think of these prop bets down below, and make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified when we release new videos here on the WSN.com YouTube channel. Until Thursday Night Football, I'll see you later. Peace.